Hello, and a very good morning to everyone. I hope, good morning, Vaini. I hope all of you are doing good and fine, safe and healthy. Good morning, Siddharth. I guess all of you are joining. Good morning, Goli, Pranay. How are you? Great, great to see you in good spirit. Good morning, Sai Tarun. I hope you are liking the class and you are participating in the discussions and putting up your doubts. Santosh, good morning. Manasa, good morning. Well, again, as I have said during the class, I'll always repeat the same thing. Keep your mobile phones off, keep your mobile cameras off. And if you have to send any message, good morning, Teja. How are you, beta? If you have to send any message, send it on the general group, everyone. I think most of you are doing it, sending it on everyone. Yes, good morning, Vasha. So send you a message on general group to everyone, or if you want to send a personal message, send it on my ID. Ask the Teja, I am good, beta. I hope your health is fine. Good morning, Konda. Good morning, Yashwant. So either send your message to everyone, general message, or if you want to send a personal message, I don't think there is any need for that. But still, if you want, you can, good morning, Maruti, send it to my ID Astic, which is only for your messages. Now, in the last class, I think we had discussed the three basic formulae for projectile motion, the three most important formulae that have come. Today, we'll be giving the entire class to doing some problems. So we'll be solving all the problems that are probably there in your notes. I hope you have seen some problems. After the class, I will ask sir to share your DPP as well. So after this class, you can start attending the DPP, and I am sure that you will be able to solve most of the questions there. Again, as I've already told you, even if you are able to solve 50 to 60%, 50 to 60% of questions from notes, 50 to 60% of questions from notes, and around 40 to 50% from DPP. DPP are a bit on the difficult side right now. You're beginning your journey in class 11. Even if you can solve 40 to 50% of your DPP on your own without looking at the answer, without looking at the solution, I would say that you are doing extremely well considering all the circumstances that have surrounded us. So for 50 to 60% of the questions, solved question given in your notes, 40 to 50% of the DPP, and I'm sure that you are destined to get a good rank. Harshita, good morning, in your JE main. Most of the questions are taken from your previous questions, previous papers, inspired from them. And again, if you have a look at all the questions, Sumant, good morning, somewhere when you give your paper after 2 years, you will realize that same question we had done in the class previously. That is why I've given you so many solved examples as well as DPP. You just go through the question once, beta, once, just once. You will remember them, and then in the examination hall, you will recollect that that question we had already discussed in the class. That is my assurance that would happen. Okay, having said that, let us try to solve these questions. But before going on to solving this question, good morning, Karthik. Let us just remind ourselves of what we have learned. We have learned the three formula: time of flight, 2u sine theta by g. That is one way of writing it. The second way of writing it is time period. Why do I say time period? Time of flight is 2 times uy by g. We had seen for complementary angles, if the time period is T1 and T2, for complementary angles, if the time period is T1 and T2, T1 by T2 becomes equal to tan theta. T1 by T2 becomes equal to tan theta for complementary angles, and T1 multiplied by T2 becomes 2 times R by G. I hope all of you can recollect it from the previous classes. Formula number 4 was for maximum height. Formula number 4 was for maximum height. The maximum height attained is u squared sine squared theta divided by 2g. I hope you remember this. There's another way of remembering the same thing. H max is always equal to u y squared divided by 2g. And as we discussed, this formula is exactly same as when we throw the ball vertically up. In that case, the vertical velocity is u. In our case, the vertical velocity is uy. We also saw that two quantities depend on vertical velocity. Two quantities depend on vertical velocity, time of flight, and maximum height. There is the third quantity which depends on both. By both, what I mean, it also depends on vertical velocity. It also depends on horizontal velocity. And what is that thing? That is the range of the projectile. Range of the projectile, we had seen many formulas. Let us revise them. 2 times u square sine theta cos theta by g. That is the first way of remembering the formula for range. I hope everyone is there with me and I'm not losing anyone. I hope everyone can remember this. When I have some raise hand gives me more confidence that we are there on the same in the same universe. You might have heard about multiverses and theory of multiple universes where random things happen. I hope we are all there in the same universe. This is a good universe to live in, where S is equal to ut plus RVT square, simple equations, wonderful equations. The same equation can be written in a different form. R can be written as u squared sine 2 theta by g. Why we are writing all these equations in all these different forms, you will understand once you go through the questions. Sometimes the question is asked in a different way, in a different language. It's obviously English. By language, I mean it's roundabout. They ask the question roundabout way, in a roundabout way. For that questions, if you remember these short formulas, you will be able to do it in a flash, in less time. And as I've told you better, barring JEE advanced probably, JEE means is concentrated on your speed and accuracy. If you are quick and accurate, you're sure you're destined to get good marks and good rank in JEE mains at least. What was the other way of writing it? I written it as u square sine theta. The other way of writing it is as ux, the horizontal component of velocity, multiplied by t, where t stands for the time of flight. I hope you all remember it. The ninth way was, the other way was, instead of u, I write u cos theta, and multiplied by t. I can write it like this. 10th way would be, I will substitute the value of t here. R will be 2 times ux uy by g. Are you there with me, everyone? Can I have some raised hand? Yes, sir, we are there with you. We have not left this universe, not wandered into any multiverse. This universe is good enough. Okay, then we had also seen that for theta is equal to 45 degrees, for theta is equal to 45 degrees, what do we have for theta is equal to 45 degrees? What is the special thing that we have for theta is equal to 45 degrees? Ganesh, what is the special thing? Range becomes maximum, and it becomes u square by 2g. Do we remember this? I've written u square by, I've said u square by g, but I've written u square by 2g. What's wrong? U square by g. See, sometimes we make stupid mistakes. I say something and I write something else. Happens. It's human nature. We must avoid these stupid mistakes. Am I clear? We'd also seen formula number 11. H max. If you divide maximum height by range at any value, you will get 1 by 4 times tan theta. Do we recollect this? We divide h max by range, we will get 1 by 4 tan theta. If we do it for angle at 45 degrees, if we do it at an angle of 45 degrees, then it becomes maximum height divided by maximum range, and we put theta as 45 degrees, tan of 45 is 1, so I will get it as 1 by 4. Do we remember this? Do we recollect this? Raise of hands will give me more confidence, more faith. Okay, we do seem to remember it. The last one, for complementary angles, what happens for complementary angles? For complementary angles, say 30 degree and 60 degree with the same speed, 30 degree and 60 degree with the same speed, what will be the range? Will the range be same or will the range be different? Range is same. So this is what we have discussed in the 2 or 3 classes on projectiles. Each and every formula, I've written it in all the ways that I think are good. There may be more ways, but I think if you can remember these ways, actually, to just remember the formula of time of flight, H max, and range in any one form, you should be able to make out all these formulae. But again, it will take some time. And in an exam, even 5 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, they make a hell lot of a difference. As I told you, if you write u sine theta or u sine 2 theta, and you write uy, you say 4 alphabets. 4 alphabets is 4 seconds. Anyways, let us now, if everyone is ready and up for it, can we start with some questions now? Raise of hands. Okay, we start with some questions, and the first question obviously is taken from your sheet, from your notes. I would be very happy if you can do them orally. By orally, what I mean, without using copy and pen, if you can do them, I would be pretty happy. If you can't do them in the beginning, doesn't matter. With time, you will be able to solve them orally. The only way you can do them orally is by practice. Do a lot of questions. Do a lot of questions. When you do a lot of questions, you will see that same question, same type of question are getting repeated. And that is the way, that is how you can do questions orally. We'll start with question number 26, problem number 26, taken from your note. And the question goes like this. I will read it. A particle is thrown at an angle alpha to the horizontal. Don't do this. Don't do this. Okay. Moving on to question number 26. If anyone does this thing again, I'll throw him out of this room, never to come back, never ever in my class. Problem number 26. A particle is thrown. This marking on the screen. This creates an entire. The mark always remains on my screen. To get that mark out, I'll have to close all the windows, stop all screen sharing, and then come back. So anyone who does it, I'll throw him out of the room forever. Ever. He will not come in my class, ever. Let us move on to problem number 26. Problem number 26 says, a particle is thrown with a velocity u at an angle alpha from the horizontal. Another particle is thrown with the same velocity at an angle alpha from the vertical. So one particle is thrown at an angle alpha with the horizontal, same velocity. The other particle is thrown at an angle alpha from the vertical. One is horizontal, one is vertical. What is the ratio of their time of flights? Ratio of time of flights. One is thrown with horizontal, one is thrown with vertical. What is the ratio of their time of flights? Your time starts now. Anyone with an answer? Anyone with an answer? I hope I am audible and visible to everyone. Hanak has come up with an answer, and Hanak says tan alpha is to 1. I hope, Hanak, you have not seen the solution. I trust you guys. I trust you guys a lot. And that is why I forget to disable annotations. I trust you that you are not going to do any mischief. Forget it, but from tomorrow I will remember it. There are mischievous students here. Tan, no, sir. I know, Hanak, and I trust you. Trust me. I know that you would have solved it and not looked at the solution. And the answer is tan alpha is to 1. How many of you have got this answer? Can I have some raised hands? How many of you have got this answer? Tan alpha is to 1. If you did not get the answer, no worries. I will solve it for you. But if you can do it on your own, I would be very happy. Only Deepak got the answer. Shashank got the answer. Only 2 people got the answer apart from Hanak. No, that cannot be the case. How many of you got the answer? How many of you got the answer? Okay. Maybe the question was not clear to you. Okay. Good, Jayashankar. Good. You can just raise your answer. You don't have to type it. You can just raise your hand. I will see your hands. I will see your hand. I'll understand. Great. I don't want you to waste your time in typing on this small mobile phone. Just raise hands. I think raise hands is easier. Just click it and you raise hand. Great. But still, I will solve it. And if you can see, the solution is already there. I will try to first explain it verbally, and then if required, I will go on the note and tell you how to do it. Now, one particle is thrown at an angle alpha. So this angle is alpha with the horizontal. Velocity is u, same velocity, angle is alpha. The other particle is thrown like this. This angle is alpha. This angle is alpha. Now, one particle is thrown horizontally with an angle alpha. That time of flight will be 2u sine theta by g, 2u sine alpha by g. When this angle is alpha, this angle with the horizontal will be 90 minus alpha, would be 90 minus alpha. So now the question is simply, if you think it that way, one particle is thrown at an angle alpha with the horizontal, other particle is thrown at an angle 90 minus alpha with the horizontal, both become complementary. Both become complementary. T1 and T2. T1 and T2 complementary angles. Do we remember we had done this problem already? T1 and T2 for complementary angles. And the answer is T1 by T2 is tan alpha, tan theta. That is the answer. So even without doing anything, you remember these small things that we have found out. You would be saving a lot of time. Do you want me to do it still? Anyone? Please raise hand if you not understood. So I'll do it on the board. If you have understood, it's good. If you have not, please let me know. 6 participants have raised hands. That means I'll have to do it. Triveni have not understood. Anish, Shreya, Sai, Rakesh, Rahul. They have not understood. Okay. Not a problem. I will do it. I will do it on the board. Not a problem. So how do I do it? How do I do it? First of all, I try to make a diagram. Problem number 26. Problem number 26. First of all, I make a diagram. This is diagram number 1. X-axis, Y-axis. Particle number 1. Particle number 1 thrown with U at an angle alpha. Like this, particle number 1. Now let us look at particle number 2. Let us look at particle number 2. I hope everyone is listening. All eyes on the whiteboard. You can write your notes after the class when I send you the sheet. The second particle thrown with an angle U, thrown with a velocity U, but this angle is alpha. Now when this vertical angle becomes alpha, this angle becomes 90 minus alpha. Am I clear? All those 6 people or all those people you have not understood it. Is it clear now? 2 people have still raised their hands. Ashish and Sai Tarun. I hope I'm clear now what I wanted to say. If you have understood, please lower your hands. If you're not understood, I will again try. So one is alpha. One angle with the horizontal is alpha. The another angle with horizontal is 90 minus alpha. I can find the time period, time of flight here. T1 will be 2u sine of alpha divided by g. In this case, it will be T2 will be equal to 2u sine of 90 minus alpha. Sine of 90 minus alpha, which I know everyone knows is cos of alpha. So this becomes 2u cos of alpha divided by g. You can divide T1 by T2. You can divide T1 by T2 and you will get your answers. Am I clear? I'm loading everyone's hand. Now, please, anyone who have not understood, now they can raise their hands. If you have not understood still how I've done this or how anyone has done this, the first angle is alpha with the horizontal. Second angle is alpha with the vertical. That means with the horizontal, it is 90 minus alpha. Manasa has not understood. Manasa has not understood. So what I'll do is, Manasa, I'm asking you to unmute. Can you unmute yourself and ask me your doubt? What is the problem? Manasa. Okay, I think the hand was raised for something else. I hope, Manasa, you have understood this. One angle is alpha with the horizontal, another is alpha with the vertical. So with the horizontal, it becomes 90 minus alpha. Complementary angles, they become now one is alpha, other is 90 minus alpha. The ratio of time of flight is tan theta or tan alpha in this case. Shall we move on to the next question? Shall we move on to the next question now? Next question is this one. We'll do it for range. Not this one, this one. Problem number 29. This problem has come in JEE mains as well in the year 2017-18. Problem number 29, and this is very relevant problem. These are the sort of problems that come these days. We call them word problems. We don't have to solve anything. You can give the answers orally. And this is Olympic time, so this problem makes more sense. Which of the following sets of factors will affect the horizontal distance moved by an athlete in a long jump event? So you are an athlete, you have to participate. Maybe someday you will represent India in Olympics, win a medal for us. You have not won a medal in track and field event ever in our history. What are factors? If you are a physics student, you have a better chance because you know how to do it. What are the effects that is going to affect your long jump? How far you can actually jump? What are the factors? So basically, when we are talking about how far you can jump, which thing are we talking about? Are we talking about time of flight? Are we talking about maximum height? Or are we talking about range? Or are we talking about something that we don't know? 4 options. First, tell me what are the 4 options. Are we talking about, where Santosh is there with an answer? Are we talking about time of flight? Are we talking about maximum height? This is not high jump, so we're not talking about maximum height. Are we talking about range or are we talking about something that we don't know? Yes, we are talking about range. So basically this question is a roundabout question. Instead of straight away asking on what factor range depends on, they've asked it in a roundabout manner. You are an athlete, you are supposed to make a long jump. On what all factors your long jump depends on? So Tejasvi Bubla, what is the answer? Karthik, the options are there: speed before he jumps and his weight, direction in which he leaps, angle, and initial speed, force with which he pushes the ground and his speed, direction in which he leaps, and the weight. And the correct answer is, we are talking about range. Yes, Karthik, we're talking about range. Formula for range is u squared sine 2 theta by g. It depends on g, acceleration due to gravity. We are on earth, we can't change it. So what are the two factors on which it depends on? U, initial velocity, or you can call it speed as well. Theta, the angle. So the answer is speed and angle. And which option gives me that answer? And the answer is simply B. Do we understand this B option is correct? And can I have some raised hand that B option is correct? You understand that, sir? How many of you were able to get this question on their own? These are the type of questions that are coming these days. Let's check your ability, that how much you have understood the concept correctly. Only 16 participants on 4 here, 25. There must be more that you have understood. Vijay Lakshmi, Sudha, Srilata, Shashank, Vijay, Varsha, Triveni, where are you? Harshita, Siddharth, Darshak, Tanmay, Rahul, Padmakant, Ganesh, Jasmine. So many of great names you have. Jogeshwar, nice name. Likit, Likita, Karthik, Shashank. I hope everyone is there. Very good. Chalo. Are you ready for the next question? Every question is a challenge. Small challenge. Clear that challenge, you feel happy and you get more confident, and I can assure you, same question, similar question, same type of question you will see in your exam. Problem number 30. Problem number 30. For a projectile, the ratio of maximum height to the square of time of flight. They're asking the ratio. I must tell you that it's not ratio, because ratio is always of two similar things. You will find some sort of grammatical mistakes or conceptual mistakes in paper, old papers. This is from an old paper. Ratio can only be found for two similar things. So basically, you have to find what is maximum height divided by square of time of flight. You have to find that value of maximum height divided by square of time of flight. Your time starts now. It's not the ratio. Ratio is always for two similar things. Ratio of weights, ratio of heights, ratio of lengths, ratio of breadth, ratio of time. It cannot be ratio of maximum height and square of time. Cannot be like that. Anyone with an answer? G has to be taken as 10 meters per second squared. It is given in this question. You have to find the value of maximum height to the square of time of flight. Anyone got the answer? Anyone got the answer? I would be very pleased. This question will make you understand the revision of the formulae and how you have to use those formulae. Simple formulae. 5 by 4 is the answer given by Deepak, and Deepak, congratulations. It is correct. 5 by 4 is definitely the answer for this question. I hope all of you have tried this question. How many of you got this? How many of you got this? Twelve participants. Great. Great. Now it's my turn to become the 27th one to solve this question, and I would give it my best. Vaini, well done, beta. Very well done. So proud of you. I will try my best, and I hope that all of you will help me out. Those who have solved it will also help me. Those who have still trying, Karthik, great, will also help me. So I have to find the ratio of H max. I write it H max divided by time of flight ka squared. This is what I need to find out. Don't worry, don't panic. Take a deep breath. What is the value of H max for a given U and a given theta? Just write the formula. So the formula is U squared sine squared theta divided by 2G. I write it here. Divided by time squared. Just put the value of time of flight 2U sine theta divided by G. It has to be squared. So you squared it. Now just simply solve this simple equation of maths and get your answers. So I'll just write it U squared sine squared theta divided by 2G divided by 4U squared sine squared theta divided by G squared. I'll cancel out the common terms U squared, sine squared theta, 1G and 1G getting cancelled. This G will go up, this 2 will come down. So my final answer will be G divided by 8. My final answer will be G divided by 8. Now this question could have been given in the form of G. The answer could have been given in the form of G, G by 2, G by 3, G by 4 and so on. Doesn't matter. Got the answer G by 8. Put the value of G as 10, 10 by 8, and that is your answer 5 by 4. Anyone? I'm going to raise all your hands. Anyone who has a doubt, this is the time that you come up with your doubts so that I can clear them right now, right then. Anyone has any doubt? Okay, I hope you are being honest and everyone is listening to me. Okay, Jaya. I will move on to the next question. The more the number of questions you do, the better you are going to become, because similar type of questions are going to come to you in the examination hall. And the next one that comes is problem number 31 right on your screens right now. It's a very simple question. A cricketer can throw a ball to a maximum horizontal distance of 100 meters. Remember, beta, one more thing. Whatever problems you see in physics or in maths or in chemistry, all problems in the problem itself tells you, all problem will tell you how to solve them. The hints are in the problem. Everything is given in the problem. You just have to understand the language, take out those hints from those problems and just use them and solve it. What is the hint in this problem? Let me again read the problem. A cricketer can throw the ball to a maximum horizontal distance of 100 meters. What is the speed with which he throws the ball? So what is the hint here? What is the hint here? What are you given? That is the hint. What are you given is the hint. You are given the range is 100 meters, but which range are you given? Which range are you given? You are given the maximum range. You're not given the angle straight away. Yes, Vaini, that was the hint. And if you get that hint, you have done the question. That's it. The hint was not given. The question was not given straight away that I throw it at an angle of 45 degrees. No one will tell you that. Instead of giving you 45 degrees, they're giving you maximum. Now you remember, when will the ball have its maximum range? 45 degrees. And you know the value of maximum range. You put the formula of maximum range there and you should be there with your answers. I'm waiting for your answers. I hope someone can give me the correct answer. The ball is thrown. A cricketer can throw a ball to a maximum horizontal distance of 100 meters. What is the speed with which it is thrown the ball? Anyone with an answer? Solution is already there on the screen, but still. Anyone with an answer? 32 meter per second, nearest integer. The answer was asked. Vaini, well done. Well done, Jaya Shankar. Shall I solve it, or you have understood this, everyone? Shall I solve it on the board? So the maximum range is given as 100. Clear to everyone? Maximum range is at 45 degrees. I've already given you the formula U squared by G. U squared by G is given as 100. G is 10. So u square becomes 100 multiplied by 10,000. U becomes root of 1,000. Root of 1,000 is approximately, remember this value, 31.62, approximately 31.62, 31 and a half. The nearest integer is therefore not 30, not 42, not 35. Childhood question. It has to be 32 meter per second. Now I'll ask all of you to lower your hands. All of already lowered your hand. Great data, good one, beta. Anyone who has a doubt now can raise their hand so that we can move on to the doubt before moving on to the next question, which is this one, problem number 32 and problem number 33, almost of the same type. Again, these type of problems are coming in the JEE mains examination. Don't look at the year, because if you go back in time, the level of today's JEE mains is lower than the level of medical examination of my time, 2000s or 97. Okay, if two bodies are projected at 30 degree and 60 degree respectively with the same velocity, by velocity they mean same speed, because the angles are different, so velocity cannot be same. So see, there are problems in the question. It was in CBSE PMT, and there is a basic fault in that question. Anyways, we understand it. Okay. Two bodies are projected at an angle 30 degree and 60 degree with the same speed, not velocity. Then, four options. What is the answer? Ranges are same, heights are same, time of flight are same, all of these. And what is the answer? Everyone knows the answer, right? Both these angles are what? Yes, Vahini. Both these angles are complementary, 30 and 60. 30 and 60, complementary angles. For complementary angles with the same speed, yes, Teja. For complementary angles with the same speed. For complementary angles with the same speed, what is same? Range is same. Yes, we had discussed it yesterday. As I told you, if you pay attention, now please listen to me very carefully. There are many things that I say in the class. There are many things that I write in the class. Or there might be something that I write, but I don't say. There's something which I say and don't write. Whether it's me, or your math teacher, or your chemistry teacher, or your biology teacher, or any teacher, please listen to that teacher very, very carefully. Whatever he says, maybe even one small thing, that one small thing can help you in solving a big question, and that question, 4 marks, 4 marks can take you from 1000 rank in JEE mains to under 500 in JEE mains. 4 marks. 4 marks. One correct question. In fact, if one question is wrong, you don't lose 1 mark, you lose 5 marks. If you mark one question wrongly, you lose 5 marks. Why do you lose 5 marks? You said, no, sir, I lose 1 mark only. I don't lose 5 marks. I lose 1 mark only. But I say you lose 5 marks. Why do you lose 5 marks? Because if the question is correct, you get 4 plus 4. But if the question is wrong, you get -1. Yes. So in fact, you don't lose 1 mark, you lose 5. So if you mark one question wrongly, yes, Deepak, you lose 5 marks. And these 5 marks can make a tremendous impact on your rank and your college and your stream and your life, how you started. Please listen to all the teachers very carefully. Attend all the classes. If you can't attend class for any reason, please have a look at the recording. Recording is there. The class notes are there. Please, please do it. Okay. So I hope everyone understands problem number 32, complementary angles. Ranges are same. We are done and dusted with the question. Problem number 33. And again, I always keep on telling you, whether it's your board exams, whether it's your state CET exam, whether it's your JEE mains, any exam, no question is asked directly. Question is always asked in a roundabout manner. They will not ask what all factors range depends on. No. They'll ask it in a different way and look at this different way. One different way we had seen, athlete making a jump. They did not ask what all factor range depends on. They asked in a different way. You are an athlete, you are jumping. What all factors your horizontal distance depends on. They will not use the word range. roundabout. No straight questions, only roundabout questions. Here is one of those roundabout questions. Problem number 33. Figure shows 4 paths for a kicked football. So now it's Qatar 2022 World Cup football. They say that it's going to be the most extravagant and the best one. Let's see. 4 paths for a kicked football. Ignoring the effects of air, that means there is no air resistance. Rank the paths according to initial horizontal component of velocity, highest velocity, highest horizontal velocity first, and your time starts now. 4, 3, 2, 1. Great, Vaini, you have given me the right answer in the correct amount of time. Good work, Vaini. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hannah also says the same thing. Deepak also says the same thing. Where are the rest of the guys and the girls? Jay Shankar is also there with an answer D. Great, great. Reddy, well done. Yashwant, Karthik, well done. Raise hands. All of you who solve the question, raise your hands and show their Siri, good one. Siva, good one. Well, I'm very impressed. Please raise your hand so that I understand how many people have understood the basic concept here. Good, 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 good. Manasa, well done, beta. Well done, everyone. 21. Way, wow. I'm very impressed, very impressed. Well done, everyone. Well done. Let me talk to Anil, Maruti, Amrita, Anil, Anjali, Ashish. Where are you guys? Did you solve the question? Bhavana, Bhanu, Sumant, where are you, beta? Jagdish, Jyotsna, Kevin, PUBG. Are you playing PUBG right now? Shashank, Karthik, Jashwant, Likita, Jogeshwar, Jasmine, Sanjay, Siddharth, Varsha, Vijay Lakshmi. Okay, I'll take a break. Now, how do I solve this question now? Listen to the question and look at the diagram. What can you see in the diagram? There are hints in the question. What is the first hint that is given in the diagram? Anyone can tell me that hint? What is the hint that you get from the diagram? What do you see? They are all on the same vertical level, right? Their maximum heights are same. Have you noticed that point? Their maximum heights are same. 1, 2, 3, 4. Their maximum heights are same. Have you noticed that point? Yes, sir. That means they have the same vertical component of velocity. That is the first hint. As I told you, every question has the solution in itself. The solution is hidden somewhere in the question itself. We just need to find it out in the correct time and throw it out. Okay, this is the solution, thrown out. That's it. So the solution is already there in front of your eyes. Vertical component of velocity is same. Now, if the vertical component of velocity is same, now they are talking about the range. And as I told you, beta, please listen to the teacher carefully. Please listen to the teacher very carefully. Whatever teacher says in the class, physics, chemistry, maths, biology, botany, zoology, doesn't matter, social science. Whatever teacher says in the class, you will find that thing coming to your rescue. See, let us go back. Let us go back. See here, see here. I'm not solving the question. I'm just showing you what we have done already. Look at this formula for range, the one that I have circled for you. Can you all see this? Range is 2 times ux multiplied by uy, 2 times ux multiplied by uy. Now here, vertical components are same. So range only depends on the horizontal component ux. In fact, range will become directly proportional to ux if vertical components are same. So the answer is there in front of you. Whatever ball has the maximum horizontal velocity will have maximum range. Whichever ball has maximum horizontal velocity will have maximum range. And then you go back to your diagram of the question. You go back to the diagram of your question. And what do you see? What do you see in the diagram of your question? Look at ball 4. Ball 4 has got the maximum x. Maximum x means maximum range. Maximum range means In this case, maximum horizontal velocity. So number 4 wins the race, followed by number 3, then comes number 2, then comes number 1. Anyone has any doubt? This is the time that you raise your hands in doubt so that I can clear them up for you. Great. So this just tells me, this is what is explained here. Range is directly proportional to horizontal component. Graph 4 shows maximum range, and that is your answer. Am I clear? Let us move on to the next one. And again, it is based on a simple concept. Problem number 34. 4 bodies P, Q, R, and S are projected with equal velocities. Again, wrong wording. It should not be equal velocities. It must be equal speeds. Because if the angles are different, velocities are different. Okay, anyways, forget about that. 4 bodies P, Q, R, S are projected with equal speed. Angle of projection being 15, 30, 45, and 60. The body having the shortest range. Which is the body which has the shortest range? Simple question. And the answer, Vahini is already there with an answer, Vahini. Great work. And the answer is simply P. Basically, range depends, is directly proportional to sine of 2 theta. Sine of 2 theta, speeds are same. Is everyone there with me? Can I have some raised hands, sir? We are there with you. We understand. We have seen the formula for range. Range is U square sine 2 theta by G. U is same, G is same. You just have to look at the value of sine of 2 theta. So for the first case, theta is 15. Sine of 2 theta becomes sine of 30. In second case, it becomes sine of 60. In third case, it becomes sine of 90. In fourth case, it becomes sine of 120. Which is the lowest? Which is the lowest? The lowest is definitely sine of 60. Oh, sorry, sine of 30. And hence, it is 15 degrees. 15 degrees is point, is body P. So the answer is P, option number A. Am I clear? Do I need to solve it, or can we move on to the next question? Anyone has any doubt? Please raise your hands now for this question. Question number 34. Great, Vaini. Deepak has a doubt? No, Deepak does not have a doubt. Deepak, clear. Rakesh, good. Jaya, okay. Great one, everyone. Now comes problem number 35. Again, the question that used to come in the years 90s and 2000, they were good questions, but the language was a bit dicey. Same with this one. Anyways, I'll tell you the language so that if this question, similar language comes in your exam, don't get disturbed. You know what they want to say. Maybe they are using the wrong terms, doesn't matter. A particle covers 50 meters when projected with an initial speed. On the same surface, it will cover a distance. How much distance? When projected with double the initial speed. Now this is correct. I thought it was wrong. No, language is correct. So when I project it with some initial speed, yeah, the wrong thing is they have not talked about the angle. They have not said at what angle you have projected. So they must have projected it with some angle, and now they are projecting it with the same angle, but twice, 2 times the speed. Angle is same. They have not said that. Angle is same, but speed is twice. What will be the next? What will be the new range? The baton passes on to you. What is the answer? I'm looking for an answer. Range, we are talking. Angle remains same. Speed has become twice, and Harshita, you are correct. Range is directly proportional to sine squared. We discussed this thing. What teacher says, you listen to it. Sine u squared. You make speed twice, range becomes 4 times. In the first case, it was 50. Now it is 4 times of 50. And the answer is 100. Am I clear? 4 times 50. Velocity, initial speed becomes twice. Range becomes 4 times. 4 times 50 is 200. And that is our answer for this one. We have solved it orally. Anyone has a doubt, please raise your hands so that I can clear it. Anyone wants me to solve it on the board, I can do it. Why need? Range is proportional to u squared. Range is proportional to u squared. I'll do it. On the board, range is proportional to u squared. Look at this. Look at this. Range is proportional to u squared. If I make u as 2 times of u and I then square it, 2 squared will come out. So it will become 4 times u squared. So it gets multiplied by 4. Speed becomes twice. Range becomes 4 times. We have discussed this. I hope it is clear now. If you still have a doubt, then again ask me 10 times. I will clear your doubt 10 times. Don't worry. I have lots of time and I'm here for you guys. Okay. That takes us to the next question. It's a straightforward question. Problem number 36. A bullet is fired from a cannon. Again, wrong heading. You don't fire bullets from cannons. Cannons are used to fire this, what did I say? Bam ka gola. Cannon balls, we call them. Cannon balls. So cannon fires cannon ball. Bullet is fired by a gun. Wrong language. Anyway, a bullet is fired from a cannon with a velocity of 500 meters per second. Yes, that's the bomb. If the angle of projection is 15 degrees, Goli, you have shown me the bomb, now give me the answer. If the angle of projection is 15 degrees and G is 10, what is the range? Goli will give the answer first because he has shown me the bomb. Goli, waiting for your answer. If you don't give me the answer, the same bomb I will send it at your home through this, through your mobile phone. Same bomb goes to your home. What is the answer for the range? A bullet is fired from a cannon with a velocity of 500 meters per second. Angle of projection is 15 degrees. G key value is 10 meters per second square. What is the range? Anyone with an answer? $12,500 meters. Goli hasn't given me the answer. The bomb is definitely on its way to Goli's personal number. I will be sending it personally to him. Now you will say, sir, how will I solve this? Goli, where are you? Hidden somewhere? I think he is trying to solve the question. Okay, Goli has got the answer. Good one, Goli. Okay. Now you will say, sir, how will I get the range? Range is 2 times u squared sine theta cos theta divided by g. Now you will say, sir, I don't know the value of sine of 15. I don't know the value of cos of 15. Yes, Amrita, there is a simple problem. I don't know the value of sine of 15. I don't know the value of cos of 15. But here, we know another formula. Range is equal to u squared sine of 2 theta divided by g. And this is the formula that I apply here. U squared is, what was the speed? 500. So it is 500 squared. Sine of 15 we don't know, but 2 times 15 is sine of 30. We know the value of sine of 30 divided by g. G is 10. To solve it, you will get 12,500 meters. Am I clear? Do we have an understanding of this? That the answer is 12,500 meters. Okay, Deepak, great. What about Goli? Goli, did you get your answer? Or shall I throw the bomb? Where is him? Where is he? Disappeared? Left the meeting? No. He must be there. Yes, Ashwin, that is the correct answer. Record it, everyone. Okay, I was joking only. I am not going to throw a bomb at your place. Someone will catch me on that act. I was just joking. I hope you got the answer, Pranay. That is the main concern. You throw a bomb at my house, doesn't matter, but you should get the answer first before throwing the bomb. Great. Comes the last one probably for today's class. Problem number 37. The rest of the question, I think there are around 48 or 49, maybe 8 or 10 are left. That will go into your account. You will have to solve them. A projectile is thrown with a speed v and an angle theta and has a range r on the surface of what. I think we have discussed this question. Anyways, for the same value of v and theta, what is the range on the surface of moon? So I throw a projectile with a speed v and an angle theta. Ranges are. What will be the range for the same speed, same angle on the surface of moon? And the answer is B, says Hannah, 6 times R. Yes, that is the correct answer. We've discussed it many times in the class that Amrita, you are definitely correct. What about the rest? I hope everyone is fine. He has got the answer as well. Jay Shankar has got the answer. What about the others? What about the other? Manasa has got an answer. Great one, Manasa. What about the others? They are still sleeping. Please don't sleep. As I told you, as students, as kids, Deepak, great. You must wake up at around 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. That is the maximum that you can sleep. Rahul, you may not read, you may not study late at night. 11 o'clock, you must go to bed. Get up at 5 o'clock. That is the time where your brain works the best. Why is the answer 6 times R? The options are very clear. Harshita, great. Acceleration due to gravity on moon is 1/6 of Earth. 1/6 times of Earth. On Earth, it is 10 meter per second square. Just to say, it's 9.8. So on moon, it becomes 10 divided by 6 or 9.8 divided by 6. And range, as you can see in this, range is inversely proportional to the acceleration due to gravity. More gravity, acceleration, less is the range. On moon, it is 1/6 times, and therefore the range becomes 6 times. That was question number 37. Question number 38 is the last one that we'll discuss today because I still have 3 minutes left. Question number 38 is the last one we'll discuss, and the rest of the question will go for you guys to solve. And I trust that you guys will solve them and ask your doubts in the group. No one solves the question and puts it on the group. It's very sad and very disheartening to see. I told you learning is a two-way street. If you don't reciprocate, if you don't solve the questions, if you don't do what I ask you to do, things are going to get tough for you. So please do it. Okay, problem number 38. A projectile is thrown into space so as to have maximum horizontal range, R. Taking the point of projection as the origin, what are the coordinates of the point where the speed of the particle is minimum? 2 hints are hidden in the question. And the question says, solve me, solve me, solve me, solve me. And the question also says, hints are there, hints are here, hints are here. Just have to take those hints out, put them on the paper, and we are there with the answer. Anyone can tell me what are the hints that have been hidden in the question very nicely, or maybe very bluntly, right in front of your eyes? What are the hints given in the question? A particle is thrown into space so as to have maximum horizontal range. Taking the point of projection as the origin, what are the coordinates where the speed of the particle is minimum? What are the hints in the question? What are the hints given in the question? Question number 38. Last one for today. What are the hints given in the question? Anyone? There are 2 hints in the question. Hint number 1 is maximum Maximum what? Maximum range. Number 2, minimum speed. Have you found out those 2 hints from the question, anyone? Maximum range implies theta is 45 degrees and maximum range is u squared by g. Do we understand this, yes or no? Minimum speed. At what point the minimum speed of the particle occurs? It is at the highest point, yes or no? Minimum speed means highest point, yes or no? Now look at the question. This is x-axis, this is y-axis. I think everyone got the answer. U. The angle is definitely 45 degrees. This is taken as origin. This is point A, maximum height. Listen to me very carefully, eyes on the board. This is your maximum range. We call it R. If this is R, and we know we have to find the coordinates of point A where the speed is minimum. It has 2 coordinates, x and y. What will be the value of the x coordinate? We have already discussed in the class. It has to be half of R, yes or no? Please tell me yes or no. Yes, sir. Now go back to the question, sir. Go back to the question, sir. See, I have not solved the entire question. I have not solved the entire question. I have only told you the value of x coordinate. I have not solved the y coordinate. I have told you the value of x coordinate. And with only the value of x coordinate, Amrita, yes, the answer is r by 2 and r by 4. Because only one option has r by 2. Only one option has r by 2. So I don't need to solve. Yes, Goli, get the concept correct. Yes, I don't have to solve the entire question to get the answer. I can do it with half of the solution. I've done only half of the solution and I got the answer and I'm happy. Why will I want to solve r by 4? But yes, we can solve r by 4 as well. Don't worry. I can do r by 4. I will solve the entire question. Don't worry. So we are back to the question. We are back to the question. This is maximum height. H max is the maximum height. Now I know the ratio of H max divided by R max. Listen to the teacher very carefully. 1 by 4 tan theta. Here theta is 45, so it's 1 by 4. So my H max becomes R max, which is R divided by 4. That means the coordinates of this point becomes r by 2, comma r by 4. Am I clear? So I got the answer for this one, r by 2 and r by 4. Option C is your answer. I will wind up today's class here. Yes, Deepak. I hope you can solve the rest of the questions and put your solutions in the group. That's it from my side. I'll dismiss the class at this point. I hope you understood the class and you will do the work that has been assigned to you. If you have any doubts, you can ask. Bye-bye for now.